Hi everyone. So I thought what I would do, Lisa was putting some fabulous images up of these ranunculus, and she was putting a texture over the top in Photoshop, and I suggested about removing some of it off the main flowers, and she wasn't quite sure how to do it. So I thought what I would do is I would make a little video on it. So she sent me through a couple of photos. I'm not 100% sure what texture she used, but it doesn't matter. So I've just grabbed this one and I'm just going to drag it and place it over the top. Now I do have to resize it because Lisa only sent me a low res image, but that's okay. So it will just allow me to resize and play with it there, and just click the tick when you're done. So that's just a better size. Now you can play with different blend modes. So you could try multiply, color burn, screen is another one, but you will probably have to drop, depending on if your image is light or dark, you may have to drop the opacity down. The most common ones, of course, are overlay and soft light. Soft light will soften your image up and the texture won't be quite so stark if you're on a light background. Overlay just tends to give you a bit more of the image. So I think this is what Lisa may have used. So I'm going to put it on overlay. Now what you can do from there is, if you go and put a layer mask, which is that little square with the circle in it, on there, you can then come in with a normal brush with black paint, and you need to make sure that the hardness is all the way down. Just a little round brush is fine. Now I would also put your opacity down to say maybe 20 to 30%, and come in and just paint some of that texture off some of the flowers. Not even all of them. You could have it on some of the edge and do it that way. Now we'll darken up because the overlay mode does give a bit of a lighting element to it, but that's okay. So, and you can make your brush smaller, and just coming in over and over and over. If I was to jump up, and I could jump up to 50%, and I'm taking off more texture, if you find that you take it off in an area that you don't want, you can jump back over to your white brush and you can paint it back in. And you can just, X will toggle between the black and the white brush. And you can just paint it off, just going over and over and over the area that you don't want it. And it's as simple as that, really. It's just putting that layer mask on. And if you find that your texture is still too strong, you can come in and drop the opacity on the texture so that it's not quite so strong. If you want to brighten up the area that no longer has the texture on it, so that it matches the rest of the image, you can take this a step further, and you could go into your adjustment panel and put a brightness contrast layer and just clip it to this, and you can boost the contrast. And if you click Alt or Option and drag that layer mask up, you can use the same mask on that the brightness. So you can come in and you can paint that in too. So you can sort of move around. So that's still got quite a lot of texture through the edges and through the sides where your focus blurs off, but the part of the image that doesn't have the texture on it is a bit more in focus, and you can sort of bounce backwards and forwards between what you want to do, and you don't have to stop at one. You can have multiple textures that you can put on an image, so you could put something else on there as well. This is a bit of a lighting one. I'm just going to flip it horizontally, and if I change that to soft light, that also gives sort of a bit of a colour and a lighting element to it. And I'm just going to resize it so that it fits in. And you can sort of play around with stuff like that, and that gives a bit of a colour to it as well. So that's putting textures on and applying them only where you want it to be. You can come in with a brush at 100% if you want to, but I just find that that can tend to be a little bit harsh. So dropping your opacity down a little bit does make it a little bit easier to work with, and then just put the brightness layer on there if you wish. If you don't wish, you don't have to. So just playing around. So that's about it. So if you have anything that you ever want me to put up or demonstrate or cover off, just send me a message. I'm only too happy. It gives me a good idea of what to do for you guys. So that's it. I'll see you back in class. Bye for now.